to JoeJoeMoto. Today's episode is all about the 1000 GTR here and the huge trip I'm just about to go on. We're going to go over all the camping gear. So all the gear that I've got for the bike, obviously all the spares, cooking, camping, bits and pieces. So what we'll do is we'll start with riding gear over here. I've got my, Kevlar back jeans, whatever you call them, special riding jeans. I do have some suspenders as well to try and keep my pants up, which is a bit, I don't know, I find that really funny. I've got my Alpine Star boots. Then I've got my dry rider jacket, which is obviously all armoured up and all the rest of it. I do have it just as mesh because it is summer, it's still very hot. I've got my RJ's gloves, leather gloves there, all the rest of it. Helmet with GoPro all set up with microphone. Then don't know whether I'm going to be using the Camelback, like wearing it, or just strapping it to the bike. We'll see, because I prefer not to be riding with something on my back. It's a lot nicer. And then the waterproof jacket, that'll just stay in probably the top box. Down this end is the tools section. So I've just got screwdrivers, spanners, Leatherman, a couple of different adjustable wrenches, some wire, bits and pieces like that, cable ties and some tape, and that's all going to go into that bag there. That'll be all sorted out just as like a little tool kit. Then I've just got some straps and things. That's what's going to hold down over here. Tent and Helinox chair, same stuff that I used at Cape York, although the tent I think is going to go. I'm going to see if I can borrow Mr. Reese's tent that he used from Cape York, because this one's not good at the moment. Sleeping bag, sleeping mat, which is one of the Xped. It's just such an awesome mat. I might show you guys that while we're when we're setting up camp tomorrow. Hey, that'll be pretty cool. I can show you all the stuff all set up. And that sleeping bag's a nice warm one. I've had it for years. Then inside my bag here, I've got, you can see the book on top. I thought if I'm going to be hanging out, I may as well bring a book. But I've got my laptop and charger and everything there. So the laptop will be used for editing on the go. So that'll be really cool. Give me something to do at night. I've got some runners. Then inside here I've got all my clothes. So I've got jumper, jacket, just some spare clothes, socks, undies, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, nothing too special in there. And coming down this line, I've got my toiletries bags. That's, insect repellent, toothbrush, toothpaste, all that cleaning stuff, so that when I do, maybe a caravan park or whatever, I'll have a shower there. Towel, which is one of those tech towels. It's fantastic. Had that for many years, and it's so small and light and works really well. Some toilet paper. I've got some pillows. I've got all sorts of different pillow setups, because that's one of my pet peeves with, sleeping mats. Okay, but I need a decent pillow, so I've tried out a few things, and I'm going to see what we've got there. In the grey one is a tarp. Then I've got like a raincoat sort of thing and slash tarp, and then I've got my my hammock there as well, so that'll be cool. Hopefully I can find some spots to set up a hammock. All that stuff goes into one pack bag. Then we go over to food and cooking. So in here I've got all of breakfasts, which are all just like muesli and things. Again, I'll show you on the trip how I do the breakfasts. And then I've got some tin stuff and whatever, just easy, simple stuff. And I'm trying out long life milk in little like poppers, I guess you'd call them. Us Queenslanders will call them poppers. And that'll be for making my coffee and having cereal in the morning. So then in here we've got all our fruit and stuff like that, some pasta and wraps and whatever to have for lunches. Cooking equipment, I do have my Mountain Designs, what do you call it, titanium little guy here, but I've also got my other setup, which I haven't used for a long time, which goes onto one of these simple gas canisters. So I've got both options. I keep trying to remember that I am not going way out west or anywhere where there's no shops or whatever, so I can keep it pretty pretty civilized and set up. And I've just got some torches and whatever else in there as well. And then I've got this setup, which I had many years ago and used. It's just like little frying pans, and I've got a bowl and a knife and fork and everything in there, some cutlery. So that's pretty much the whole setup of packing. And if you're packing for a trip, similar sort of stuff to mine, as long as you want to pack light and simple, yeah. So I think it's a pretty good setup. Now I've just got to work out how to fit it all on the bike. Alright, so just a quick little update on the situation. That tent was fried. It was just old and cactus and whatever. I've been using it for years. It's been all around Australia. That's Mr. Reese's from Cape York, so I've got to get that out and make sure that's all good. I am though. I don't know what's going on. I'm just struggling to fit everything in. We've got so much room, but I don't know, those panniers aren't as big as they look. You know, they look like it'd fit so much in, but they're just not. So currently I'm sort of packing it into this top roll bag here, but I'm thinking with that, plus the chair, plus everything else, it's just going to make this big, huge stack on the back of the bike. So this is what I'm thinking, my giant loop from, you know, doing all my adventure rides in Cape York and stuff like that. So I might try cleaning that up, putting that on, because I know I can fit the tent, the chair, all of my sleeping gear, everything in there quite easily. And if it looks decent and it doesn't look like it's going to move around too much, I think we will go with that. Alright, well, she's a bit of a monstrosity back there, but I don't know, I don't understand how I could fit all of that stuff doing 2 weeks in Cape York into basically just the giant loop bag and a couple of other bags on top, but this time I've got another 2 panniers and a top box and everything else, so I don't know, whatever. Everything's in there now. I've fit everything in, so it's good to go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take her out for a little shakedown ride, test out the GoPro and make sure all that works with the wind and everything like that, and make sure the bike ride's fine as well. You know, we've done an oil change, we've done the diff oil, so we want to make sure everything's good to go. So let's head out on the bike and go for a little hoon, see how she goes. Okay, you ready? This is my favourite bit. Oh! How cool is that? Oh, I'm so vain. Well, there's a lot of weight on this bike, huh? A lot of weight. It's a huge bike to start with, and now I've gone and added, well, 100 kilos worth of me, and then probably, I don't know, 30 kilos or so, maybe 40 kilograms of other stuff. Anyway, it was never going to be nice to ride on this slow stuff. I mean, the bike by itself never is, so yeah, let's get out on some open roads a little and see how she performs. She's feeling nice and smooth. Actually doesn't feel bad at all, really. I just want to get up to 100, make sure there's no weird wobbles or anything like that. Make sure it all feels nice. Feels very stable, feels nice. Let's do this little cruise controller test too, huh? Oh yeah. Get used to that. We get very used to that. Cool. It's going well. Happy so far. Happy days. What we might do is we might go and find a few little twisties, because this trip, it's going to involve a lot of twisties. While we're heading over to the twisties, I do have my full riding gear on. Everything's feeling nice and comfortable. I'm actually wearing the Camelback, and it doesn't seem, I don't know, I got a full 3 litres of water in there now, so it's heavy, but I can definitely put it on top of, now that I've got the giant loop there, I can throw it on top of that and strap it down, and it'll be fine there. So it's good to know that I can do that if I want to. Okay, let's see, this is our little test track here. Definitely feels a little bit, you know, wallowy, I guess, on the bumps, but it's full of fuel, full of water, full of food. Like, this is the heaviest it's going to be. Oh yeah, man, it just glides through the corners though. It just feels really good. I just can't wait to just be hitting the best roads in Australia on this thing in the next couple of days. Oh, amazing. I'm just so stoked. Oh yeah, she can still get up and boogie too. Woohoo! Oh, nice. How's that torque? The 1000, so good. Yeah, it definitely feels real nice. Brakes are great. Tips in nicely. Yeah, it feels good. Tires feel great. Very, very good.
Alright, that's it for our little shakedown ride. Let's head back to the shed and button the last few little things up. And that's it. We're off. On the next video, we're off. Woohoo!
Alright, well that's it. Locked and loaded. I'm just going to do a few last little minute checks on charging systems and whatever, make sure everything is perfect before we go. But apart from that, the next video is going to be us riding off into the distance around all places in Australia. I don't really know where we're going yet. I know we're going south, and we're just going to see what happens. Hey, so what we'll do is we'll get out the maps all the time. We'll just you know, just charge through and just have an awesome time. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe, notifications, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think about the bike and the packing and everything there. And make sure you give it a big old thumbs up. And I guess I'll see you on the next video.